Welcome back to Pancake FC, the YouTube channel named after the fantasy team, named after my dog. There she is in the bottom right of your screen, right now snacking on a treat on the couch as sometimes per usual she is ignoring her co-hosting duties. But if you do hear any dog or dog-related noises over there on the audio, you know who to blame. We're doing something a little bit different today. Just for fun, we are ranking every MLS team's starting goalkeeper because I wanted to, and why not? For those who do not know, keeper is my position of choice, much to the chagrin of my Sunday League teams that I'm on because I'm pretty short, but I'm also stubborn and I didn't want to change positions in high school when I stopped getting taller. I've actually been coaching youth keepers part-time for a couple of years now, and I pay a lot of attention to keeper play when I watch games, especially MLS games. And I really must say that the standard of play has really risen over the last 5 or so years in the league. So a lot of these keepers are very good. I've got 5 tiers that I'm going to rank them in, starting with S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier. I don't just have the starting keepers either. I've got guys who've really gotten significant minutes over the season just to kind of have some variety. If you hear the noises of Pancake snacking on the treat, that's that. If you hear the sound of me drinking my coffee, that's me drinking my coffee. Don't blame that on Pancake. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with Jonathan Sirois. Super talented shot stopper, very young keeper for CF Montreal. I think I'm going to stick him in A tier. That's good. I think I'm going to stick him in A tier. His play with the ball at his feet leaves a little bit to be desired, but there's still a lot of time for him to improve on that. As far as just like pure shot stopping ability goes, I mean he's top tier, top tier shot stopper. Very good keeper, very exciting young keeper. Let's go on to Schulte from the Columbus Crew. I think I'm probably gonna stick him in S tier. I'm almost a little bit tempted to. He's maybe in between S and A tier. He's a very well-rounded keeper. He does make, I mean, all keepers make mistakes. He has had some kind of notable errors with the ball at his feet, but otherwise, maybe his command of his area leaves a little bit to be desired, but similar to Sirois, super talented shot stopper, just a very well-rounded player. He's been linked recently to Arsenal. To be honest, I don't quite see it, at least not at this point in his career, and especially considering Mikel Arteta is obsessed with keepers who are very good with the ball at their feet. Schulte's not quite that. He's not bad with the ball at his feet, but he's not quite to that level. But take nothing away from him. He is a top tier MLS keeper. I'm a big fan. I'll put him in S tier for now. We'll see if he drops down later. Alex Bono from DC United. He did usurp Miller to take the starting spot for this year. He's had a very solid season. I think I'll stick him in B tier. That might be generous. He might be more of a C tier type guy. He's maybe in between. Tyler Miller was really good with the ball at his feet. Bono's solid, but his shot stopping this year has been solid. Just in general, a lot of solid keeper play out of Alex Bono. Carlos Cornell, the Paraguayan shot stopper, probably. I think I'm going to stick him in B tier. I would maybe say that this player is a tad overrated. If I remember correctly, last year his post shot XG numbers weren't great. His save percentage isn't great. He does come up with some big stops, but I think his reputation is a little bit overblown. But still a very solid keeper. Pretty good player. Brad Guzan, Goose. Let's put him in C tier, I think. So I'm weighing this mostly on performance this season. Guzan was very poor last year. This season, he's actually been pretty solid. Up until the last maybe couple games, I would actually say he's been great. Had a big penalty stop opening day. Has had some very good distribution play. Probably going to stick him in B tier because I do still think his days are numbered. But he's actually having a pretty solid season. Roman Salutano. Where do we want to stick him? Probably in S tier. He's one of the best young shot stoppers in the league. He's a big guy, very imposing keeper. Pretty much same as Schulte a little bit. Super well-rounded keeper. Very dominant in the air. Pretty solid ball at his feet. Roman Celentano is very good keeper. Pedro Gallese, unfortunately, is probably going to be a D tier keeper. El Puplo, which means octopus, he's a guy. I'm not going to be too negative, but he's been his play has been regressing over the last few years. This year, it's fallen off a cliff. His shot stopping's been poor. He's made errors with the ball at his feet. What really drives me crazy is how incredibly poor his one-on-one technique is. He just gets a solid. I mean, he's 10 feet at least too far off his line every 1v1. Every single one. He doesn't spread very well. His 1v1 technique, I just can't. Who's the keeper coach in Orlando? And somebody needs to talk to them. Somebody needs to talk to Pedro too and get that sorted out. If there's a breakaway, you should be scoring. You should be scoring on Pedro Gallese. Unfortunately, his play has not been up to snuff. Drake Callender, super solid keeper. I think some people might put him S tier. I think he's another guy who is a really good shot stopper, not great with the ball at his feet. Just really, really, really good MLS keeper, and I'm not sure if I would really rank him any higher than that. Andre Blake has really regressed over the last season or two, maybe the season especially, and that is in part due to injury. He really needs to just sit for a little bit, in my opinion. He's having trouble kicking the ball because of his groin injury. It looks like he is going to be out for a little while at the moment, but I hope that he takes some real time to rehab his injuries because it does seem to be affecting his play quite a bit. His shot stopping's been poor. He's been poor with the ball at his feet. He's a great player, but it looks like maybe he's a little bit past his best days. Matt Freese, I'm actually going to put S tier. I think he's been one of the top two keepers in the league this season, having an outstanding year. I think he's deserving of a USMNT call. He's been great, just great for New York City in every way. Very well-rounded keeper. His shot stopping's been excellent. He's had a couple of massive games. I can't remember exactly what team it was against, but the dude had the game of his life a few weeks ago. It's crazy. Super, super good keeper, having a big-time breakout year. Stuver for Austin FC, I think, has been the best goalkeeper in MLS this season. The stats backed it up as well. He leads the league in saves and post-shot XGA. Just very, very, very impressive season for Stuver. His shot stopping's just been out of this world. His command of his area is really good, too. Another guy who's not great with the ball at his feet, but the way Austin played, it doesn't really matter. Steve Clark, probably going to go B tier, maybe deserving of A tier, to be honest. He's super, super solid in net, makes some good saves. A little bit of a smaller frame, too. Really good with the ball at his feet. Probably one of the best in the league with the ball at his feet. Maybe deserving of A tier, but I wouldn't quite put him on the level of Callender and Sirois, so B tier is probably fair. Just a really, really good keeper. Brady, super, super promising goalkeeper for Chicago. He had the game of his life against Atlanta a few weeks ago. If you haven't seen the highlights, go check him out. He was unbelievable. Very, very promising keeper. He, like a lot of these guys, good shot stopper, needs to improve with the ball at his feet to take his game to the next level, but I like Chris Brady quite a lot. He'd do a job for just about any team in the league. Christian Kalina, I think I'm going to go A tier, but based off his form recently, he's kind of almost a borderline S tier guy. Another keeper, incredible shot stopper, big dude, very good 1v1 technique. I will say, though, play with the ball at his feet, leaves a bit to be desired. He's definitely a traditional kind of guy, but he made that huge save last year to take Charlotte to the playoffs. Just a really, really talented player. DSC Dane St. Clair, probably going to call him A tier. I'm a big, big Dane St. Clair fan. Big, imposing, good command of his area, decent with the ball at his feet. Definitely a very talented young goalkeeper. John McCarthy's actually having a very under-the-radar season for LA Galaxy. Their defense has been very poor, but that's actually not been because of McCarthy. He's been one of the best shot stoppers in the league. I'll probably put him. I'll probably put him B tier just because I wouldn't say he's on the same level as these A tier guys, but based on this season alone, you'd maybe call him A tier. Just a very, very impressive start to the year for him. Willis from Nashville, he did lose his spot for a little while to Elliot Panico, but he's been very solid in the past, Joe Willis, but I think his play this year has left a little bit to be desired. Probably put him in C tier. That is maybe just going to be the has-been tier. He's still got time to improve his play this year. There's no reason that it won't, but Nashville really struggling at the moment, and I wouldn't necessarily say that he's helping things. Sean Johnson, just been one of the best shot stoppers in the league for many years now. Has had a few very big games this year. He's kind of funny because, traditional goalkeeping technique, the fundamentals, he does a lot of stuff wrong, but it doesn't seem to matter. He's just that good. I was lucky enough to see him his rookie year play for Chicago, or that might have been second year. I can't remember which one exactly, but he's always just been a super exciting, big time shot stopper, a big Sean John fan. Roman Berkey is an obvious S tier best keeper in the league. He's been outstanding this year. He had an incredible game over the weekend. Just really, really, a lot of times when older goalkeepers move to MLS, especially these European guys, like we're about to talk about with Hugo Lloris, their best days as a shot stopper are behind them, but usually they'll bring some leadership and some decent play with the ball at their feet. Berkey doesn't care about that at all. He's pretty much still the best shot stopper in the league. He plays like he's 10 years younger. Insane agility, great command in the air, good with the ball at his feet, best keeper in the league, hands down, I think. In general, I think, Matt Freese and Brad Stuver's play has probably been better, but, just based on pedigree and last year included, it's still got to be Roman Berkey. Hugo Lloris, I actually think I'm going to stick him in C tier. His shot stopping has been pretty poor this year, aside from a shocking penalty save. I'm pretty sure the first of his career against João Klaus. But his shot stopping's been pretty poor this year. He's not very agile. He doesn't move off his line very well. He's decent with the ball at his feet, and he has made some solid saves, but nothing really too impressive, and you can see the deficiencies in his game. He's definitely a guy who's aged quite a bit, but still a decent player and brings a lot of stuff off the field. Zach Steffen, I think, has been maybe the most disappointing goalkeeper of the year for me. His play has not been good. It's not been good. He's very solid with the ball at his feet. I mean, he's traditionally a great keeper with the ball at his feet. Haven't really seen that a ton this season. But his shot stopping, shockingly, has been borderline poor this year. Borderline poor. A lot of saves he should be making, especially for how big he is. His command of the air is still solid, and it could be I wouldn't say a Goss theorem type thing where his next year is going to be better, because he's played a lot in Major League Soccer before, but maybe he'll get better as the year goes on to next year, because he's really not playing up to his standard at the moment. So I'm going to stick him in C tier. Takaoka, I'm a big Takaoka fan. Probably the best keeper in the league with the ball at his feet right now. Extremely talented passer, and can hit long passes very, very well. Can ping the ball super good. Also, his shot stopping last year was not great. It has improved quite a bit this year. This is a Goss theorem guy for sure. Where this season we're seeing quite a bit of improvement. I'm a big Takaoka fan. Been extremely impressed with his play this year. Zach McMath is probably going to go down to D tier this season. He's been in the league for a while, always been a very, very solid player. But he's starting to regress a little bit and make a lot of errors. We've seen at least 3 big errors this year. His days are numbered because Gavin Beavers is coming for his spot in Real Salt Lake. Right now they're rotating Gavin Beavers and Zach McMath, kind of grooming Beavers to take over the spot. I think they might even want to speed that up, considering a lot of the mistakes that Zach McMath has made. I'm going to stick Gavin Beavers in C tier. He's super young. He's like 18 years old. If he takes that starting spot this year, he's definitely going to jump up to B tier. I'm a big Gavin Beavers fan. 2 or 3 games he's played this year, I think he's been really impressive. I'm rooting for him all just in general too, because that debut last year where I think he let in 5 goals is just about as horrific of a debut game as you could possibly have. Since then, he's shown great mental fortitude to improve his play, and I'm a big fan. I think he could do big things one day, and I hope he takes that starting spot sooner than later. I think he's a very, very exciting young goalkeeper. Stefan Fry, definitely a guy whose best days are behind him. Iconic MLS goalkeeper. I'm going to stick him in B tier, but I think as the year goes on, we're going to start to see a lot more regression from Stefan Fry, and I think this guy, Andrew Thomas, is going to take his spot before the year's over. That's my prediction. At least I think he deserves to. Andrew Thomas's play has been really good when he's been in this season. Really, really good. I want to put him on the same tier as Stefan Fry. Maybe I should drop Fry to C tier. I'm gonna drop him to C tier just to be controversial. I think Andrew Thomas is deserving of a genuine shot at the starting spot in Seattle. Um, he saved a penalty against, I think, LA Galaxy. Could have been somebody else, but been very very impressive when he's played. Very exciting young shot stopper. Crepeau has been kind of poor this year, but I think it would be harsh to stick him in D tier. But I'm gonna do it anyway because I don't think he's quite on. Well, no, he can go C tier. He's in between a little bit. He's had a few good games, but he's also had a lot of errors. His command of his area has been poor. Um, Funnily enough, the game against, I'm pretty sure it was LAFC, where he got the red card, up to that point had been his best game of the year, in my opinion. His shot stopping hasn't been great. He's a good keeper, but he hasn't really played to that standard so far this season. But I will say he's been improving a little bit, so that probably will knock him up to C tier. I think we might see him improve his form some down the line this year. William Yarbrough is probably going to have to go in D tier despite his improved performances over the last few games. Up to that point, his play had really been horrific. Just not saving the shots he should be saving. Terrible with the ball at his feet. Matt Doyle posted it on Twitter. Is a hilarious clip of San Jose from the Cali Classico, where they set up on a goal kick to play out the back, and like everybody went short, and then Yarbrough immediately just pinged it long, like directly to a Galaxy player, and then that counterattack almost immediately went all the way back and into the back of the net. Just crazy stuff in San Jose. He is the backup, to be fair to him, and he has been pretty good the last two games, but still probably not enough to lift him out of the D tier. I'm gonna stick Daniel down there too. Daniel was outstanding for the last stretch of the year last year, but before he got injured, his play this year was worse than William Yarbrough's. Probably the worst keeper play I've seen from all but maybe one guy this whole season. I don't know what happened there. Just terrible with the ball at his feet, wasn't saving any of the shots he should have saved, just deficient on about every metric. So hopefully when he comes back from injury, we'll see his standard improve to where it was last year. But for the moment, he's maybe a little bit harshly going to be in D tier. Ravas, unfortunately, I would say in general, of all these guys, is the worst in the league. Just not up to the standard of Major League Soccer. Not a good shot stopper, not good in the air, especially bad with the ball at his feet. Just about whether it resulted in a goal or not, an error with the ball at his feet every game. No wonder that they brought in Ivicic and dropped Ravas for him. Since Ivicic has come in, he's actually been outstanding. He had a Save of the Year candidate against Chicago on a free kick from Shaqiri. I think I'm going to stick him in B tier. People forget, I know Ivicic's time at Portland ended pretty ugly, but the year before that, or the season before that, one of the two, he was Player of the Year, don't forget. Ivicic is still a great shot stopper, even if he is a bit of a head case. And his play in New England since he's come in has been really good. It's been really good. Tim Melia, probably B tier as well. Maybe the most jacked keeper in the league. The dude looks like a bodybuilder. If not, it's Andrew Thomas. But just solid in all areas. He had an error last game, which was maybe his first of the year. Big one, at least, that resulted in a goal. But Tim Melia is just always a very solid keeper. Last one I got, Martin Paz, going to stick him in B tier as well. If you haven't seen it, go look up Martin Paz. You probably just have to Google Martin Paz, like double or triple save. I believe it was from his time at FC Utrecht, is maybe how it's pronounced. That's probably wrong. But Martin Paz made in some game from them one of the greatest like triple double saves you'll ever see in your life. Go look it up. It's outstanding, and he's been very solid for FC Dallas. Made some big saves. Hasn't saved a lot of the ones he should save at the same time. Kind of a David De Gea-esque keeper where he'll make incredible saves and then miss easy ones somehow. But still a very solid keeper. His play this year has, I think, been better than last year. So I'll stick him there in B tier. But that is my full keeper tier list for all the at least relevant goalkeepers in Major League Soccer. I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment, especially if you want to see more just MLS in general related comment. That's pretty much going to do it for Pancake and I today. Again, thank y'all so much. I'll probably put out another video, maybe a short later in the week. Best of luck, and I will talk to y'all then.